Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Blackblade and welcome to a brand new vlog series featuring the Wild Strike build. Now for this build, I decided to go with a Duelist simply because of the specific weapon that I'm going to be using, and also most of the builds out there will recommend using the build or creating a crit based build out of this skill gem. For this build, I'm not going to be doing that, just to simulate somebody who doesn't have any crit based gear, you know, somebody who only has mediocre gear or any high DPS two-handed weapon. Alright, so before I start, the Wild Strike skill gem actually has a melee part and three elemental effects. Now, the elemental effects are not affected by increased melee physical damage, so that's why we're not going to be using that one. And also, it does get affected by increased physical damage with said weapons, like for example the Executioner. So if the skill node has that specific keyword, you know, when it says two-handed weapon or one-handed weapon or claws, daggers, swords, or any type of weapon, the physical damage out of that gets affected into the three elements that comes out of the Wild Strike. So another interesting skill node would be the increased physical damage with attacks. Since the keyword here has an attack value into it, the increased physical damage out of it will also affect the elements. Alright, so I guess that's about it. So let's start with the skill tree right here. So again, we've started with the Duelist for this build, and we did take the this route over here, getting some physical attack damage, some armor, evasion, and life, and then the melee damage here. Again, the increased melee physical damage does not affect the three elements. It only affects the first hit or the melee part of the skill gem. And then we've taken the Master of Arena. Again, as we can see there's an increased melee physical damage. That only affects the melee part. It doesn't affect it doesn't increase the damage of the three elements. Then we've gotten the Mana Flows, Bravery, some life notes over here, and then we've gotten the Art of the Gladiator, and then we went down over here to get the Destroyer. Again, with the increased physical damage with two-handed melee weapons, the elemental effects of the Wild Strike will benefit from this one, simply because that, you know, it has that keyword of weapon type. Of course, what I'm trying to what I'm saying to you guys here is based on the Wikia or the Wikipedia of the skill gem. I suggest that you guys check it out. There's a lot of things going on with the skill gem, and not all of it is in the Wikia. So I suggest you go and read up into the Reddit. It's there's a lot of theories going on what else affects the elemental part of the skill gem. Again, we went down over here to get some socket with an increased physical damage with two-handed melee weapons and an increased melee damage. Now with a jewel that looks like this one, what's going to affect the elements is only the physical damage with two-handed weapons, but a 12% increase melee damage will not. That's only going to affect the melee part of the skill. So I suggest that you guys, instead of getting the melee damage, you know, maybe get some attack speed instead. And then we've gotten the Golem's Blood over here, and then we went down over here to get the Executioner and the Wrecking Ball. Both affects the elemental part of the skill gem. And then we've gotten the Iron Reflexes for some armor, and then for some mana management, we've gotten some mana leech nodes over here. And for our life, we've gotten some life leech nodes over here. And then we went over to the left side over here, going to the Marauder skill tree, getting the Warrior's Blood, and then getting the life and armor nodes over here. And then we went up to get the Heart of the Warrior, the Born to Fight. As you can see, there's a 26% increased melee physical damage here. Again, it's only the melee part will be affected by that one. And so with this one, two-handed melee damage, this will affect all of the elements again. With the Butchery, of course, also will be affected. The elemental part of the skill gem will be affected. And then we went over here to get some the Barbarism for some life. And then we went over here to complete the axe nodes, damage nodes. Again, since I'm going to be using an axe for this build, that's the only reason why I'm getting the axe nodes. If you're using a mace or a sword, then go ahead and get the appropriate nodes for the mace and the sword. And then we went up over here to get the Resolute Technique. And then we went up over here to get the Unrelenting for some increased maximum life and reduced mana cost of our skills. And then we went up over here to get the Catalyze for some elemental damage with our weapons, and then again the Elementalist for some elemental damage. And then we've gotten the life over here. And then we went over to the left side to get another jeweled socket. The second jeweled socket that I'm using is an increased physical damage with access. There is a weapon called Axe in the end of the term over there, which means that it's going to affect the elemental part of our Wild Strike attributes and some intelligence and strength. Intelligence and strength. And then for the next jeweled socket over here, we've got a flat 10% increased damage with affects everything, the melee and of course the elemental effects. The increased physical damage with access again will also affect the elements, and we have 10 in dexterity. And then finally we've gotten the celestial judgment. Now since our level is at level 84, I can push this to probably 88, but that's going to be pretty difficult, so you still have a couple of more points there. I suggest completing the life nodes over here, and of course completing it by getting the sanctity for some regeneration and armor, or you could go over here to get some more armor, evasion, and life. Alright, so I guess that's about it. Or of course, we can just go up over here and get another jeweled socket. One jeweled socket could could be really powerful, so you may want to choose this one instead. Alright, so let's get into our gear. Again, with this gear, we are going to be using that series disfavor. Also, one thing that that I have noticed with the skill gem is that when you have a weapon that causes bleeding on hit, the effect, the elemental, the fire, the ice, and then the chain lightning, all of the monsters that get hit by that one will be bled or will be bleeding. So this could be a really good kiting thing if you guys are running into trouble. Just bleed one or just hit one or two of them, and then cause the AOE, and then just let yourself be chased by them, and they will bleed to death. Alright, so we're going to be using the series disfavor for this build. Again, if you don't have this one, then just use any high DPS two-handed weapon, mace, sword, or axe. It doesn't really matter, just as long as it's probably above 300 DPS, so that you could get the most out of it. Preferably a high, also add a high attack speed into that. And then for our gloves, we are going to be using an armor, evasion, and rating gloves, just to further increase our armor, life, and the resist. I included an attack speed there. For our belt, we are going to be using a rustic sash, life, and the resist. Boots, life and resist 2. I'm using a hybrid of armor and evasion rating to further improve our armor. For armor, I'm going to be using a 6-linked armor like this one, life and only 1 resistance, but that's okay because I was able to cap out the resistance already. For our rings, we are going to be using a 2-stone ring for life and then resistances. I added a fire damage to our attacks over there just to further increase our DPS, and then 2-stone ring again with life, resistances, physical damage, fire damage, and some an additional attributes and some addition to our strength. We are going to be using an Onyx Amulet for the life and the resist, and then the physical damage. For our helm, we are going to be using a hybrid helm over here with high life and 1 resistance, but I decided to add some evasion rating there just to further improve our armor. Alright, so that's about it, I guess. So let's go into the overall damage of the weapon. So the damage of no, I forgot the links first. Alright, so what's connected to our Wild Strike will be multi-strike, added fire damage, weapon elemental damage, and faster attacks. Now, I didn't add the increased melee physical damage because that will only increase the physical part of the skill gem. What I wanted to do is to add a support gem which increases the damage of all of the attacks, the physical, and again the elemental parts of the skill gem. So that's why I added the added fire damage instead, and with that also the weapon elemental damage. If you have a 6th link, then there's no other choice or there's no other thing but to get life leech. Life leech is really important in this game. If you do get a life leech when you have a 6th link armor or a 6th link weapon, then these are 4 nodes that you could allocate somewhere else. Again, primarily go with life. And if you're worried about the damage, you'll just let the level of the gems do the increase of damage for you. So I guess that's about it. So for our other skill gems, we are going to be using CWDT attached to Warlord's Mark, Blood Rage and increased duration. For other skill gems, we are going to be using Herald of Ash and Grace over here for our auras. Attached to Leap Slam, Flame Golem, Fortify, Enduring Cry, and Minion Life. For our other skill gems, we are going to be using Val Haste. This is a pretty good boss killer. You know, if you run into a boss, activate this and you're going to attack like crazy. Attached to Enhance, Empower, and Increase Duration. And for our final skill gems, we are going to be using Immortal Call. Attached to Increase Duration, Molten Shell, and Cast when damage taken. Alright, so our damage, the DPS of the Wild Strike is at 39k with all of our auras activated and with the Flame Golem over there. But the DPS that's being displayed here is only the melee part of the skill gem. It doesn't actually display all of the 3 elements yet. So yeah, you will need to have we'll need to do some additional calculations if we really want to know, you know, how much DPS does our elements or does the elements are doing. For our defenses, our armor is at 8.5k with an estimated physical damage reduction of 46%, which goes up to 58% and 14k respectively once we pop in our granite flasks. And then all of our resistances are capped, and our life regeneration per second is at 210.6. Alright, so the map that we are going to do is the Waste Pool map. It's a level 74 map. It's a usual leveling map, just to let you guys know what you guys are, or what the level could do, or what the build could do. Again, one of the things that, hold on. Alright, so here we are. So again, as I was saying a while ago, one of the things that you really should need to do about this build is go for a crit build. The only reason that I didn't do it is because, you know, I wanted to simulate somebody who doesn't have any good crit gear, and I just wanted to use the skill, and I wanted to prove to you guys that it's actually really possible. So yeah. So as you can see, I really love this skill. It's really mowing down monsters at a really fast rate. You guys will be clearing out maps really fast. So yeah, it's a very enjoyable skill gem in my opinion. Just be careful with elemental reflect mobs and also physical reflect mobs. If you do encounter them, you know, just War Buckler. All right. If you do encounter them, you know, just kite them and kill them one by one. Don't go in the middle, and you know, because honestly, with the rate or with the with the extreme, you know, fast rate of attack speed that we're doing, you're going to practically die instantly. So you don't really. So that's the only problem that I've encountered here. Other than that, there's really not much problem. Again, you know, if you can get your life at least at about 4.5k, you really need a huge life pool in here, because you know I've noticed that after the patch they kinda, I don't know, I think they bumped the difficulty a little bit. So wait a minute, hold on, I don't want to get in that group. There's this, you know, spider thing or spider mob that does a lot of DPS. I'm not exactly sure if it's physical, but if it's physical, then I'm taking too much damage out of it. Alright, hold on. Okay, it's dead. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. You know, I really love this skill gem. And yeah, for my next build, I think I'm gonna try and create a build which is crit based of this one, so that, you know, we'd go with what everybody's doing. You know, the crit build, because it makes sense that you're going to go with crit build, because if your melee physical attack crits, then any other element that comes out of it will also crit. So it will be what I mean is, it will be the best idea to do. So yeah, I'm going to do that also. I'm preferably going to going to go with a shadow build for that one, because simply because I have more gear oriented to a what do you call this, a shadow rather than anything else. Okay, hold on, I'm taking too much time here. I've been going the wrong way. Maybe he's located here? You can never really tell with this type of map. Okay, hold on. So So yeah, and also there's a lot of things going on with the skill gem, and I highly suggest that you go to Reddit and read through some other theories that people have observed with the skill gem, because it does a lot. You know, it's a really interesting skill gem, and what's really good about it is that GGG hasn't confirmed anything, or did not, or has not released anything or any significant information yet about the skill gem. So there's a lot of theory crafting that, oh my god, hold on. I've been talking a lot, hold on. So let's activate the haste Val, or Val haste. And hold on, what the hell? Alright, hold on, I've been freezing. Sorry about that. Alright, so that's dead. Hold on, just finish some more monster over here. Our golem has died. Alright, so I guess that's about it for this episode, guys. Again, let me know what you guys think about the build in the comment section down below. And thank you all so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'm gonna see you guys on the next one of my video. Have a good one. Boom, dead. Already have a lot. Ooh, promenade back! Wee-hee! Level 17. Oh, level 17. Anyway, so yeah, it's